And I adopted a cat, which is a whole other video. I'll make it after this one and I will post it. So I adopted a cat, and he is going to cry the entire time because, contrary to the paper that said he does not talk a lot, he talks a lot, and he cries all the time. And he's sitting right there. Hopefully, he will just go to sleep. Anyway, so I decided to start shooting downstairs in front of my bookshelf because I love it and because this is better than shooting in front of my couch or on my couch, and more comfortable for my back. Anyway, so all of the all of that aside, I need to tell you about this cerclage. So this is my surgery video. I hope by now that I have posted the pre-cerclage and my thoughts on it. If not, I will look at that after I do this video so that I can just make sure that that is already posted, so that you can see the difference between before and after. All right. So I talked to quite a bit of women about this surgery, and I got a lot of, oh, it's going to be great, oh, it's going to be fine, oh, it's going to be fast, blah, blah, blah. What I did not get, and I feel like this is pretty common because women are supposed to be really strong and we're supposed to be fierce, and they don't, when people tell you about things like childbirth and blah, 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 they just tell you can do it. It's going to be tough, but you can do it. You know, there's never any of the nitty gritty stuff that you actually want to know. So I'm going to tell you what actually happened during my cerclage, and then you can make up the decision of how you feel, if it's close to your story or not, because it was a lot tougher than people said it was going to be. And I don't mean the actual surgery, I'm talking about the recovery. So, hey, can you stop licking the wall? He's licking the wall for no reason. Anyway, so we go into the hospital, and I am already nervous because, other than my prenatal class, I only go to the hospital to see triage when something bad is happening. So I've never just gone there for something different. So I go up to the desk and I'm just kind of like, hey, with my little paper, here's my surgery paper, I'm here for a cerclage. And so what happened was, so I go back and I start, they do the questions, everything is fine and normal. They start, I'm already tearing up a little bit because I'm just nervous, and they start asking me how many pregnancies have I had, and I'm like, this is my fourth pregnancy, I have lost 3 babies. They kind of run through my history, which is kind of emotional already, and I'm kind of like, you should have this information. Anyway, and so then they bring Tony back, and we're sitting together, and something crazy happens. Now, for my other pregnancies, I saw a different doctor. I really, really love him, and, you know, he gave me the best care. It wasn't because of him that I switched. It was because I ended up working at an OBGYN office, and so then I chose one of those doctors to be my doctor with this pregnancy because I worked there. So the crazy thing is, I saw that doctor from my previous pregnancies in the, like, he was working on the surgery floor. The second I saw him, I grabbed the nurse and was like, can you tell him to come here? And so he comes over, and I start bawling, like crying my eyes out, just because it was like, here's a doctor who has been there for me through all of my losses. This man has talked me through history, talked me through, he said, you know, giving me that conversation of, I'm sorry, but, you know, the baby has passed. He has been the one who, on my follow-up visits, hugged me because I was crying because I had already lost the baby. Like, I was just so emotionally attached to this doctor, and then I moved. I changed doctors, and so when I saw him, it was like relief just filled me. And so, you know, him and Tony hugged. He came up to me and he was like, when am I going to see you? And I'm like, oh, and I told him kind of what happened. Like, I switched doctors, and he's just like, well, good, you'll have a happy baby. The cerclage is great, etc. And so I'm crying again. And then I'm like, oh, I miss you. And he's like, oh, I know, like, you know, everything is going to be great. You don't have to worry. Come see me when the baby is born. And so I was like, I will. And so then Tony left, and then, so I go back to surgery. Now, they had asked me if I wanted fentanyl to calm myself and to kind of relieve any pain, and, you know, things like that. And at first I said no because I remember I had my DNC last year and it was fine. But what I had forgotten is that I was having a very traumatic experience last year and I almost died, and I wasn't able to stop and think, crap, I'm having a surgery. And so my thoughts weren't on that. Kitty, what are you doing? What are you doing, Kitty? He know he was doing something bad because he started running the second I started talking to him. Um, so I was just really nervous, and so I told him no at first, but then, they're holding me down. They're doing the spinal tap. She's putting it in my back. She's asking me where I feel this. Do you feel it left? Do you feel it right? Do you feel the needle in the middle? And I just start crying, and I'm like, is it gonna hurt the baby? And he's like, it's not gonna hurt the baby. Here, let me go ahead and give it to you, and you'll be calm. You'll be fine. And then I was like, sure. So he gave it to me, and I start to relax, and then I lay down on the table and I'm losing feeling like I'm numbing, and then it's very weird to be awake during a surgery where people are looking at your hoo-ha, right? Now I know that I should be used to this because I had my daughter last year, and when I was in labor, my legs were like wide open and everyone was looking at everything. I had like five nurses and the doctor and then Tony and I mean, it was pulled all the way up and my legs were spread and they were like 1, 2, push, and it was crazy, right? So you would think that I would be used to that. No. So I'm bottomless, right? And they're like, can you lift your legs? And so I'm trying, and so I'm like, no. So it's very odd to be able to feel someone lifting your legs for you because you can't lift my legs. They put my legs in these stirrups, so my knees were like all the way up here, and my legs are in these stirrups. My my hoo-ha is just open to the elements. Everyone is staring at it. It just like oh my god, I was glad at that point that he had given me the medicine, because I'm freaking out now just thinking about it. And in the moment I was like, can y'all stop looking at my vagina, please? uh anyway, so there was about 5 minutes of that because then they have to clean you off. So there's an actual nurse with wipes and this and that, and they're like scrubbing down there, and I was just like, I could feel it. I wouldn't be able to feel the pain, but you can feel, obviously you can feel the pressure of someone touching you, so you can feel all the groping that's going on, and it just freaks me out. I don't like it at all. So that happened, and then the surgery went great. The surgery itself, people are pulling and tugging and pushing, and the nurses are talking to you, and they're like, "You're doing great. If you don't stop, Kitty, stop it." So the nurses are like, "You're doing great. Everything is amazing." Blah blah blah. So I'm like so exhausted by this time, right? I've been crying a lot. I've been resisting arrest. I've been doing all kind of stuff. So the nurse was just like, "Are you okay?" And like tears are like like I'm not crying at this moment, but they're just falling because I'm just delirious, right? And then she's just like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Can I go to sleep? I'm like so tired." Mind you, the night before I had 4 hours of sleep, if that, because I was so nervous. So I was so exhausted, and we got there at 7. It's like 11 o'clock, and I'm just tired. So she's like, "Sure." So I fall asleep, and then I wake up, and everything is pretty much done. They're just like fixing me up. They're taking me out of the stirrups. Then they're moving me to the bed that I rolled in on. And then we're rolling out and we're going to recovery. So recovery happens in 2 stages. There's the first stage where they basically like ask you all the questions, make sure everything is okay, blah blah blah. And then the second stage, which is where they just kind of leave you alone, and they just let you do your own thing until you're able to pee, right? So, sidebar, I had asked people about this because some said, if you, they were saying if you they'll only let you go home if you can pee because you're numb. So then, as soon as you're able to pee on your own and like be able to walk and get up, they'll let you go home. I don't think, Kitty, what are you crying for? Let me go ahead, sweetie. Anyway, so guess I gotta rub Cat while I talk because he won't let me alone.